frail blaze. Today's story: I found a strange journal in the restricted area of a national park. I am an avid hiker and happen to live near a national park that I think is best not to name. Me and my friends go hiking there often, or I guess did. If you've ever been to a national park, you may have noticed certain areas were restricted for one reason or another. This one was no different, and the reason we were given is that the terrain was too dangerous. To me and my friends, this only made it sound more fun. When you spend as much time in the park as I, you begin to catch on to the ranger's routines. Soon, you're able to avoid them with ease, and so we made our way into the restricted area. We were soon met with disappointment, as the terrain was quite flat and boring. It may have even been safer than other parts of the park. My friends and I started speculating why they might want to keep people outside of here. And then we started getting shot at. We started running. I made the mistake of looking back. I didn't see the shooter, and I also didn't see the hole in front of me either. After falling a good 10 feet, I began to examine my legs to see if they were broken. My eye caught something. Behind some rocks was an old and deteriorating satchel. Contained within it were some shotgun shells and what appeared to be a journal. Soon, my friends came back and helped me out of the hole. We all escaped without taking any bullets. One of my friends proposed that they were simply trying to scare us away and maybe they were only using blanks. But that didn't make any sense. What could they be trying to hide, and why would you hide anything in such a public area? Now, I think I know the answer. Once home, I began looking through the journal and found that many of the pages, although frail, were still intact. The name Ellie Johnson is written on the front. The remaining pages read as follows. 10/6/1915. The trees are all beautiful this time of year. It's a shame the leaves don't last long. I'd rather they look this way all year. I used some of the leaves to make beds for the sheep. I thought they could use them as it's getting colder. Dad says it'll be even colder this year because our new land is higher up than the old. At first, that didn't make much sense to me, but now I can feel that he's right. 10/8/1915. I've noticed my chores get done a fair bit faster now that there ain't much more than a cow and some sheep to feed. But this has left me with nothing much to do. My friends are all miles away now, and there ain't nobody out here but us. I try to help Mom when I can, especially since she's carrying my little sister or brother. But most of the time she insists on doing things herself. I never thought I'd want more chores. 10/9/1915. Nothing much happened today, other than a sheep escaped for about half a minute before Dad caught her. Ain't really sure why I opened the book. Next is on the 12th. Dad's bringing a friend up here to go hunting. His name's Stan. Can't say I know him too well. I only met him once at church. I asked Dad if I could come with him. He said someone had to stay back and help Mom. He was right, I suppose, but that don't make me happy about it. 13th. I woke up this morning and found it snowed in the night. It's got to be at least 3 inches. I went to see what Dad might have brought home, but he hasn't gotten back yet. Mom's real worried, and so am I. Dad's usually only gone for a few hours, never all night. He's never gone hunting in these woods before, neither. I told Mom I should go out and see if I can find him, but she didn't much care for that idea at all. Says I'll get lost too. Says we should just wait. So I suppose that's what we're gonna do. Next entry is the 14th. Dad's still gone. I told Mom that someone was gonna have to go looking for them, and since she's pregnant, it was gonna have to be me. She began to cry, saying she ain't gonna lose her entire family. And then she said if he wasn't back tomorrow, she'd send me into town to get help. I didn't want her any more upset than she already was, so I agreed. But I know he ain't gonna be back tomorrow. And if he's hurt, he's gonna need help real quick. So, when Mom went to bed, I grabbed the shotgun by the door and some shells. I took a lantern, too. If I find Dad and Stan, I'll help them back home and Mom will be happy. And if I don't, I'll come home and she'll never know. Next entry is on the 16th. I think I'm lost. I followed the footprints leading into the forest, thinking I'd find them in no time, but that damn snow kept falling, and the footprints began to fade until I couldn't see them anymore. At least not with my little lantern. But I wasn't going to let this stop me. I kept walking where I figured they'd most likely gone. This foolish idea went about as well as one might suspect. The lantern ain't worth dirt. I didn't know I was even on a hill till I was rolling down it. I hit my head against a rock on the way down. Everything went black. I woke up the next morning half buried in snow, but by the good grace of the Lord I didn't break any bones. I climbed back up the hill to find that the snow had erased my tracks just the same as the others. I thought if I just kept walking straight I'd end up back home, but after an hour I was still in the woods. I kept on wandering in every direction without finding nothing but more trees and snow, like the damn thing goes on forever. Didn't see a single animal either. Not one squirrel, not a bird. Like these woods are dead. I did find a small cave. I reckoned it'd be better than sleeping under a tree, but I didn't get any sleep. Something strange started howling as soon as I closed my eyes. It didn't sound like any wolf that I know of, but I ain't really sure how to describe it. But it was close by, much closer than I would have liked. I thought I might have been trying to sleep in its home, so I kept the gun ready. It didn't stop until the sun began to peek through the trees. Only then could I rest. I awoke about midday. I wonder if Mom is all right. Probably not too happy, I imagine. I hope she doesn't come looking for me like a fool, like me. I hope she goes to get help. October 17th, 1915. I think it's the next day, but I ain't sure. I ain't sure of anything. I began another day of hopelessly trying to escape the woods. I don't think they ever end. I think home may be 1,000 miles away, if it's even that close. I came across some footprints. They were bigger than a bear and had inch-long claws on them. Next to them seemed to be the marks of something being dragged along. I followed them. I know it wasn't smart, but it was something. Something in a forest of nothing. As I followed, I'd find blood around the tracks every now and again. I kept walking till I came across the cave. This one was much larger than the one I'd used for a shelter. There was something inside. It was a giant beast, hunched over, eating something. There was blood all around the mouth of the cave. I saw the bones of the creature's back poking through its gray skin. I stood, frozen, and started to cry. I wasn't sure why at the time, but now I believe it's because I knew who it was eating. Before I could make too much noise, a hand went over my mouth, and I was dragged behind a nearby rock. It was Stan. He gestured to me to be quiet and asked for the shotgun. I gave it to him. I asked him what happened to his gun. He told me he dropped it while he was running away from that beast. Then I asked where Dad was. He didn't answer. I tried keeping my tears quiet, but I failed. In the blink of an eye, that antlered monster had its jaws on my leg. I screamed in pain before Stan shot it in the face. It released me and turned towards him. Then he shot it in the chest. It didn't seem to do much good, other than making it mad. The gun was now empty, but the monster was enraged. Stan ran off into the never-ending forest, with this abomination gaining behind him, leaving me alone. It was going to catch him. It was going to kill him. And it was going to drag him back here. And then it was probably going to do the same to me. I got up and began limping away. I kept my eyes closed until I was past the cave. I didn't want to see whatever was inside. I didn't get far before falling through the earth. Now I'm stuck in a hole. I don't think it's a work of nature. It's much too deep for that. It seems instead to be a trap dug by a demon. I'm not sure how long it'll be before he finds me. One of my legs is broken. The other's been badly wounded by the beast. I can't get out. The skin around the bite wound is beginning to turn gray. I feel sick as a dog. Mom, if you find this, I love you. Also, run. An unusual tale. The entire beginning gets us to the journal. Then it's a completely different ride from there. Tell me what you thought in the comments below. And I do hope that you join me again for more Frail Blaze.